Hi everybody, this is Jen from Jen Spice, and today I am involved in a collaboration with a bunch of people, and we were asked to create a soap that illustrated best our favorite kind of weather, and I believe we needed blue in there. So maybe not, I'm not even sure. There'll definitely be blue in mine. And I've been looking at a couple of different techniques that I'd like to try. And we're going to be doing another micro master batch. So for those of you who want to just make a single bar of soap at a time, or maybe just a pound, or maybe even a couple of bars, I'll be showing you how to do that. And the design I chose is a technique called a couple of different things. In the painting industry, it's called a dirty pour. And the soap makers have been calling a similar technique where you pour all of your colors into one container, a one pot wonder. So we're going to do a one pot wonder micro batch, and because my main soap itself sets up really thick in the micro batch format, it makes a really great frosting, and I'll probably use it for that if I do some frosting. But I'm also going to be doing a landscaping technique, and that's going to be kind of cool because I want to, show clearly what kind of weather it is that here in Victoria that is my very favorite. And here actually it rains a lot. I'm in a temperate rainforest, and in the summer it gets quite dry, so it looks dry, so it gets brown around here. But in the fall, as it transitions from our dry season to our wet season or our winter season, a lot of days will be nice and warm, nice summer warm day, the sun out, and a few clouds on the horizon. And then it's like God takes a spritzer and just starts spritzing. And that it's not enough water to make you feel like you need to wear a raincoat or an umbrella, but it's just enough put moisture in the air and create rainbows. So I'm going to try to do a one pot wonder that makes a rainbow, and I just thought it would be fun to say hi to everybody. It's been a while since I've done a face-to-face here on YouTube, and the reason for that is that COVID's hard. It's really hard, and getting motivated to do things. I understand that, definitely. And we'll be talking about some of the other things that I've been doing in this video, and I'd really like you to share how you're coping, what are you doing to make life normal for you, the new normal. Anyway, so let's get soaping, and I hope you enjoy this. There is a quickie version if you don't like to listen to me chat. So click over to that if you just want to see me make soap. All right, we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Bye for now. All right, welcome to this collaboration. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with my channel, I have a chatty version, and this is that. So I'm going to be talking a lot. And if you're wanting to learn how to make soap and that kind of thing, maybe stick to the chatty versions, because I'm going to be sitting out little pearls. I'm not going to call any of them tutorials, because a lot of times I'll skip steps and I'll talk about something else, because it's something that I kind of do automatically now. I've been making soap for over 30 odd years, nearly, and bath and body products for even longer than that. So I made my first lip gloss when I was 7 years old. So I've been doing this for a very long time. It's been a fascination of mine since I started chemistry in high school, and continues to keep my interest. Now, today's single oil master batch is going to be a Castile, because that's one that you actually will see. And the reason I've chosen Castile is because it has a very slow trace. Whenever I've made Castile, it's taken forever. So I need that particular property for the technique that I've chosen to do, which is a messy, it's called a dirty pour in the art world, and in the soap world lately people have been calling it a one pot wonder technique. So we're going to be pouring most of the colors in for the majority of this creation at the same time. So I'm going to have a bowl, and then I'm going to add all my colored soap, and then I'm going to pour it into this one. All right, and hopefully I will end up with a rainbow, because that is the main component of my favorite weather day. The point of this collaboration is to show your favorite type of weather illustrated in your soap design. So I'm going to do a landscape dirty pour, one pot wonder, and then I'm going to add a few elements to it, and that will also create that particular scene that I'm trying to create. So I'm going to be using syringes, and I'm going to be pouring, and I'm going to be landscaping with plastic forms. So I'm going to have to make those, and I'll show you how I make those. You're going to get a lot of different techniques in today's presentation. If you find you really like olive oil, and then all you have to do is your 50-50 lye and water solution. You can make soap anytime without having to dig out your ingredients, because if you're doing a single oil soap, your oils are there and you just have to measure them. So that's another reason I wanted to show you this, because if you have favorite oil soaps, some people like to make 100% coconut oil soaps, and we'll talk about why I chose to make a multi-oil soap, which is my favorite master blend here. And I'm really glad I took the time to do this in the early days, to see what small bubbles look like and creamy bubbles look like, and very little bubbles but moisturizing soap, because it allows me to discount the oils that don't add anything to my formulation and use the oils that do to their highest potential, so that when I'm creating for my wholesale customers, they get the best type of soap that I can create with the best ingredients out there. Because honestly, 100% cocoa butter soap, for example, is very rich and very expensive to make, but the quality of the soap at the end is not ideal. All right, a very expensive soap to make, not a very good soap to use. But that cocoa butter does add emollients and moisturizers and a certain feel to the soap that makes it absolutely freaking fantastic. So without further ado, because I've been talking a lot, let's get soaping. So here is my Castile master batch. So I'm working with a 50-50 lye solution. So I'll take you through the math really quick, because I'm doing a small batch. I'm just doing, enough for 4 or 5 bars of soap. Now you can change this and just make 1 bar of soap if that's all you want. You could make 1 bar of soap a month and play with it and have fun and create with it. There are single bar molds out there, which are pretty cool. But today we're going to be doing this. Originally, I had hoped to do a different kind of soap, but I'll save that project for another day, because I know that this will work with this mold. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. So I'm going to make a 500-gram batch. Now my normal batch of oiled Castile is 2,000 grams. Now, because I'm only using a single oil, I can do my recalculations and not have to put it into a lye calculator, because I can take my original quantities, which are done by percentages, and put them back into the percentage calculator and then recalculate for a smaller batch. So I know that my lye that I've chosen is 9.19%, which is quite high. That's a nice super fat there. You can go as low as 2 or 3. I like it at about 9.19 for my Castile. Now for my oil, it's 72.07% total of my formulation, and for my water it's 18.74, which is not discounted at all. That's full water for me. All right, now you can reduce your water, but only as much as your you have to dissolve your lye in water. And if you used if you don't use enough water in this particular formulation, you're going to have issues. I've had issues. You may not have issues at all. I have issues with separation, with ricing, with whatever. And so I just stick my Castile to a full water calculation. So in order to calculate this, we're going to take our 500 grams, and 9.9% of 500 grams is 45.95%, 5 grams, which is my lye. 72% of 500 grams is 360.35. That's better. And 18.74% of water of a 500 gram batch is 93.7 grams. Now, I'm using a 50-50% solution. So to get my lye, I take this 45.95 grams and multiply it by 2, because half of that is water, which gives me 91.9 grams. But that's only half of my water, so I have to add the additional water back in, which is 47.75 grams. So my three things are lye and water, which is this, and oil with the additional water. Now that was probably about as as clear as mud, but just look at it, you'll figure it out. It's really not that hard. So let's get started with our main batch. So our first calculation will be in this larger container, because this is the one we're going to use to mix everything together, because you add your lye water to your oils. That's really the easier way to do things, because you do have to measure them separately. You can't just add everything in here and give it a mix, because the water and the oils, if you're not using a 50-50, the water and the lye, if you're not using the 50-50 sodium solution, will not mix properly. So this is the oil phase. My water and lye phase is finished, but we will be measuring it separately into a different container. Just because I don't want to take a chance that I'm using too much of the lye solution, because it's easier to fix and measure it back into your container at that phase than it is to take it out if you added it all in. So we're not going to do that. So we need 360.35 grams of our olive oil. And this is the brand that I like to use. That little bit of extra water is not going to make a difference. I could have dried it, but I just didn't. So I'm going to have a nice big batch of this Castile soap, probably enough to last me for a year. So I'll be giving away a few of these as gifts, I'm sure. At Christmas, possibly. Maybe spring gifts. All right. Because Castile soap does take a while to set up. I will be putting it in the freezer just to pop it out. There we go. All right, so we're done with our oils. That's all she wrote. So we'll set that over here. Now I'll just take this time to show you what I've chosen for my fragrance is Lettuce Garden. It's summer, it's fun, and it's light, and just a beautiful, beautiful scent. All right, so I'm going to use this recently washed jar to measure out the water and lye solution. Now, before I touch my lye, I'm going to put on some gloves. I don't know why I don't have my gloves on. There they are. I brought them up here, and then everything just went sideways. Today's been one of those days where every time I try to do something, actually it's been like that for the last 2 weeks, which is why this is going to be a one and done kind of video where I watch it and throw it up on YouTube to make sure I didn't say something colossally silly. Now I've got my gloves on. I do have my glasses on, so I have eye protection as well. Now, my lye solution has more than just lye and water. It has a chelator. I use tetrasodium EDTA. And so you really have to be careful with your container, because as you pour, if you don't get all of that lye off, you end up with it drying, and that is highly caustic. So you definitely have to wear gloves when handling your lye container. So not only do I have a chelator in here, I also have my Angora fiber. I raise rabbits, the most beautiful rabbits in the whole world. So we want 92 grams, basically. See, I got 95. So what I need to do is I need to pull some out. So I've got a syringe here. Clean. So I can, whoop. I want 92, not 98. 91. 92. Now that's going to have to be washed really, really, really well. I'm going to give the outside of my container a bit of a wash this time, just to get that dried lye that dripped down the sides and condensed around the edges a little less prevalent. Alrighty. It's always good to have things set aside. All right. So generally I use a smaller blending tool. So we've got half the water there. Let's add the rest of the water. So we need another 47 grams of water. Now if you go over on your water, that's okay. It's no big deal. So we're going to add, I'm actually going to add a little mango micellar because it is a distilled water, but it's got some extra little goodies in it. So we got lettuce, scent, and mango micellar. 48. All right. 48 grams of water. Wow, mango micellar. Oh, it's getting warm. It's a little sugar in those. All right, let's get mixing. Now I know this is going to move fairly slow. Unless it really should. If it doesn't, I'm just going to be like, you know what? Before I measure this out, I'm going to get my colors pre-mixed, and I'll be right back. And I'm just going to put these away and we will get started with the creation. I'm so excited. All right. Now I've watched this technique and done over and over and over, and I can't remember who I saw do it first. I think it was I Dream in Soap. If you haven't checked out her channel, it's brilliant, and she's growing so fast, so I'm sure everybody knows who she is. So go check her out if you haven't, because she does some really fun projects. And a lot of the techniques I'm using here today are hers, or I saw her do it first, so I'm giving her credit. Whether or not she was the first one to do, I don't know, probably not. But she's the first one who showed me how to do it. So thank you, I Dream in Soap. Even an old dog can learn new tricks. So we're added our lye there, and all of my special ingredients that I add to my lye to make my soaps extra special. All right, so it really didn't take very long. So we're going to add our, actually it's not quite ready. I'm going to add some of the fragrance oil, and you don't need a lot of it. I'm going to use about an ounce. Less than an ounce, about half an ounce. Or 5%. 5%? Now I'm not going for trace. I'm just going for emulsified because I'm not sure how this fragrance oil is going to cooperate with me. I picked a light oil, which tends to have less issues, in my opinion, as far as darkening the soap, but they can also cause it to rise, which is, let me just see if it's strong enough. Oh yeah, that's lovely. So I'm just going to pour each of these in. Not the white, just the little rainbows. Now I didn't put as much yellow and purple because I'm going to need some mixing room. Okay. So I can just do mixy like this. You know what, I'm going to do a proper mix of each of them with my tiny little blender. Now, if you've not got one of these NorPro mini blenders, a little wonderful little soap tool. It's a NorPro mixer, so it has several different tips, so it's not just a single kind of tip here. I am going to need a larger portion of this, a larger portion of this. Those are my two top and bottom colors. And I'm going to put a wee bit of green in one, and a little bit of blue, and lots of white. That one, and a little bit of white in that one. So pour it back and forth if we want to. Now I'm already going to custard, so I gotta work a little faster. Let's do a little quick little spritz of each of these. Now oh god, purple just went everywhere. Alright, so we'll just give it a little bit more, because I gotta work faster than this. Everything's thickening. Okay, so what you do is you pour in the side all your colors. So this one, I'm actually going to mix a little. Okay, get all of that out. And that's okay if I got a little bit of that in there. And now I'm going to start on my colors. So we're going to go purple, blue, green, yellow. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Orange and red. And then my last color, which isn't much of a color. Because what we're going to do is we're going to have a separation of bases. So I'm just going to go back and forth. I don't know. We'll see. It's looking kind of like mud. All right. I hope I got a rainbow. I might not have. It's possible. This is new for me, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and let that hopefully not get too muddy on the top. And then I get my clouds and do a little bit of micro batching with a thicker. Okay, let's see if I can use this little bit of stuff. I somehow doubt it. Where'd my syringe go? There you are. So let's see. This is a messy mess I've made here. So I'm going to try to put little bits of rain. So just to illustrate that tiny bit of rain. I don't know. Okay, little bits of rain. I was going to do a bigger master batch, but I think I'm going to do a little one. I'm not going to use these little bits because that's going to interfere with my design. So I'm going to clean this up and I'll bring you back for the scraping blade thickness. There's 2 of them in here. I got it at the dollar store. We're going to use one of them. We're going to sacrifice one of them today for creating a landscape. Now, what I want to do is make a very distinct cloud and sun. We're going to do the sun first because I want to be able to use it for other things. And I haven't decided on whether or not I'm going to make a cloud one as well. Alright, so we've got 2 here so we can make lots of different things. Or you can use them for a cutting board. So because my mold is small, I don't want to make it too wide. So I'm just going to cut enough that I'll be able to make it fairly deep. And maybe I'll make a couple of them here. Make a cloud one. And so I can't go beyond 2 inches. So I'm going to go 1 inch. All right. But I'm going to give myself pulling through so that I can use it for my larger molds too. So we're going to go as wide as one of my larger molds because the top doesn't matter. It's this space in here that fits, right? And generally a sun's going to be at an angle anyway. All right. So I can use it on either side of my mold just by flipping it back and forth, hopefully. So we're going to draw our sun. So I generally do a sun with spikes, right? So we need, let's see which way I want to do this. To do that, okay, let's just do the round. All right, let's start over. Can you guys even see what I'm doing? We're gonna wipe that off. Okay, so it needs to be round. And we're gonna do the spikies. Like that. And I'm gonna take off my gloves for a little while so that I have a little more control with my scissors. Now, if I did this wrong, I will do it all again. All right, so. I just want to be able to get it right the first time. You guys feel like that too? I just want to get it right the first time. And I want every ray to be slightly different because I don't want it to look like a little kid project. I want it to look right. Did I cut off my little bit? I hope not. All right. Let's see what this looks like. All right, so there's my sun. Now, so I can go this side or I can go this side. Let's try to keep, how far down do I want to go? A steady hand as I scrape. Okay, let's try this again. But we're going to do it just from this side. Because honestly, they don't all have to be exactly the same. They're going to be slightly different. All right, so we'll come back to this after it's had a chance to set up some more, and I may do another scrape. We shall see. And I'm going to scoop up some more of this excess, just so it doesn't interfere. There we go. Okay. That's pretty cool size for a little tiny thing like this. I'm going to put that in with my stamps, I think, because it's so small in my stencil collection. All right. Okay. All right, so there's that. Now, it looks like I've probably got way too much of this. That's probably all I needed right there. But we're going to go ahead and bump that up. And then I'm going to go ahead and let this get a little thicker, and we're going to build it up a little higher, I think. Maybe. So I'm just going to find my clouds and we'll finish this off. All right, so I lost my cloud cutouts. I don't know, it's just one of those days where nothing seems to want to go my way. So I have some dough that I hope I can form into a cloud-like formation. So it'll give us like clouds. So these need to be little clouds. Now we're just gonna put them right next to the sun. This will either work or it won't. I really don't know. It's been a fun project. Super fun. And the concept, coming up with the concept was really fun too. I'll make my clouds smaller. And sometimes this is really an exercise in letting your plans kind of do what they want to do. Because sometimes even the best laid plans don't come together, especially when you finally have to do it at the very last moment. Like this one. Now I'm going to find the roundish pieces. Push them down so they're part of the design, but hopefully they aren't going to muck it up. I have these cute little cutout clouds, and I've lost 2 of my projects like halfway through. So I'm guessing they're together. And when I find them, I'll have some more things to release here on Jen Spice. Some fun projects. So the neat thing about the clouds when we get these kind of days is because it doesn't really look like it's going to rain. So these off-white clouds that have just a little bit of moisture in them, enough to give us a rainbow, actually work better in this design, which is really fun. So come on back for the cut, and hopefully we'll have a rainbow in there. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Bye for now. All right, welcome back. We have frozen this. It's been a full 24 hours. And generally with this olive oil Castile type soap, I let them stay in the mold as long as they want to, but I'm late getting this project out, and I gotta do it for you. And as you can see, it is still quite soft, so I'm going to have to be really careful with it. But it came out of the mold really nice, which is really makes me happy. I'm gonna here, and we'll see if we got our rainbow with our sunshine and a little bit of rain. I'm really hoping that this worked. But whether it did, I don't know. We'll see. First slice. I may leave this because it is Castile to just kind of slowly do its own thing because I don't want to wreck it. Well, kind of. Let's see. What happened? I did it wrong, obviously. Let's see. We got a pretty soap here. Here, we'll cut one more piece. And then I'm going to let this go ahead and do its thing and harden up before. I'm going to give it a good 6 months to kind of harden up and get beautiful. But this is my rainbow soap. Didn't quite work. I'll have to work on that technique. Yeah, But I did want to show you what a single oil soap is like. All right, so olive oil, it's normal for it to be very creamy, maybe even little to no bubbles because it's creamy. Get that creaminess in there. Tiny, tiny bubbles. If I can get them going for you. It does get better as it sits. It's kind of like the cold processed liquid soap, and that needs a time to bled. For lack of a better word. So I didn't get my rainbow, but I got a pretty soap. We'll try that technique again. This definitely is not ready to use. We got that puckering going on. So it does need to actually finish saponifying and cure. So we're not going to do any more cutting, but I hope you enjoy this collaboration and get out there and see all the beautiful productions being made. All right, so definitely I'll go lower and deeper with my sun the next time I do a sunshine. And maybe I poured on the wrong side, and then I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we can figure out what I did wrong. All right, enjoy and go check out everybody else. Bye for now. Okay, so we're gonna try to improve this a wee bit and see if we can bring out those details that I had originally decided I needed. Now, we've got a bit of a rainbow here. We got a very upside down rainbow. I probably should have done it this way, but we did it this way, and that's fine too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a whole bunch of little tiny spray marks. So like, instead of big raindrops, we're going to have teeny tiny little blue raindrops all through this. So I'm going to use a tool, a scraping tool, hoping this one will work, whichever one works the best, to create those little marks. And then I'm going to take some of my soap dough and make it a little more blue-green so that it looks more like rain. All right, so this is the green dough I had, just left over from my my dragon collaboration, so I'm going to use that, but I'm going to darken it up. So let's try to get that ready first. Now, if you don't have tools like this, you can start picking them up, and they'll allow you to do a lot more with your dough. They're basically tools designed for clay. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this little bit of soap dough turned into a get the rain element that we're going to work into this creation started. So we're going to just, and it's okay if it's not completely all blue. I don't mind that variation in color. That's kind of cool actually, but we want it mostly blue. At least dark enough to be looked at as little bits of rain. So we got a blue-green going there. I'm going to use a little bit of this and see if that is okay to work in it. If you want to learn how to make your own liquid dyes, they're great for melt and pour. So if you're into instant soap, they're a really easy way to make a perfect dye. I don't know, it just likes being green. Let's give it a wee bit more of the blue, and if I have to, I'll just paint the blue on. But I want it to be dimensional, so yeah, that's pretty blue. That's pretty good blue. So I'm going to make some marks. So again, I'm using my green mixed with the peacock blue mica. So we'll just set that aside. And I'm going to work on my end pieces. All right. because I want to make sure that this is going to work. So my favorite weather is a rainy day with the sun out. So we're going to make my sun a little more vibrant, a little more sun-like instead of just this little orangey piece here. So I'm going to make those rays come out. Hopefully. We'll see. And I'm just gotta pull them out. I want sharp contrast between the rays. Hopefully I can see to do that. Now my soap has been really quite soft. I haven't been able to do much yet. So all right. I don't know. I don't know how people do this so evenly so that when it's done it just looks like it should. We'll see. And I have to thank all the other soap makers out there who inspired me to take this up a notch and see if I could. Now I am going to use my little guide here because maybe I can get that is what I had in mind. Just that. So I don't know. This didn't quite come out in my design. No matter where you look, it just didn't. I think it was too soft. And so I didn't get this look, which is what I want. I don't know how to make it. Well, let's try on this little other one, this little one. Let's see if I can get it in. I can't even. Well, I think I'm just too, I think I want to work too fast. Let's see what I can do. I just don't want it to look childlike, which I know we all worry about it looking like a little kid's drawing rather than something that we envisioned in our minds, right? Okay. So let's get some more of that orange. See if I manage to do at least one of my suns. Okay. All right, so when you're working with teeny bits of soap dough, it's actually pretty easy to get it going. It takes a few minutes sometimes, and I've got blue in my hands. So I'm gonna just rinse off real quick because I have damaged the color. Like that. I should have just done the yellow. Are you going too fast? Okay, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. All right, let's see if I can fix this. I haven't run it in. Let's see if I can rinse it off the outside of this, not ruining my dough. Okay. All right, hopefully I caught myself early enough. This dough is so nice. Oops. Okay, I can't do this without my gloves. Sorry. Gloves make it too slippery. My hands, I can actually hold on to it and feel if it's smooth enough to use or if I need to make some new dough. Okay, so we added a wee bit of water to that. And there is an awful lot of colorant in here because I wanted it nice and dark, which works really well with the soap already. But I've got to work out all those little dried bits. So they've got to come back to a nice smooth dough before I can put it into the sunshine right there. All right. Takes a little bit of elbow grease, but when you're not doing large amounts, it's not too bad. And I know the blue went nice and smooth, so I don't imagine this one will take too much work to get it back to where it needs to be. See, we're already getting it back. All right, so we got a nice soft dough once again. See how smooth that is? Much better. Now we're going to take little bits of it and work it into those gaps. And hopefully we'll get a much more fiery sun. Now each one of my suns obviously are going to be a little different because my tool didn't work as well as I thought it should. But we've actually got a sun now. Woohoo! I will shave that off a little bit to make it a little more. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. All right, so I've got another little tool here. Let's see. Where's my scraping tool? Oops. So you can use the scraping tool to just take off the excess. And then you get that nice design that's there still. And that's closer to what I had in mind. So I'll put this in a little bag. And so when I do each of my suns, I'll be able to fill it in and make it a little more intense on each side. So I'm just going to put this in a little bag. sunny day, rain clouds, spritzy rain, and no umbrella. That's my favorite weather. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this, please click like and subscribe, and come on back to my soapy kitchen anytime. Bye for now.